I said, this is worthwhile. You're going to meet some folks. You're going to like 2/3 of the people that you're in with, and it's going to broaden your horizons. You're going to learn about the Hispanic community that you don't know about now, and you're going to learn about Black communities, about things that you don't know now, and so forth. So,
He had told me about his experiences, the same kind of stories he's telling here, about mostly out in the wilderness and how, it had taught him things about himself and leadership style. And some of those were repeated over again when I went through the same journey. But I wouldn't say it was a total parallel.
you could have serious conversations with people who didn't know anything about the agencies that you were dealing with or that I was dealing with. And they would come up with some real interesting, you're not looking at it correctly, you ought to look at it like this. And 4 or 5 of them would come together and say, oh yeah, he's right, you're not doing it the way it ought to be. And I think it made me a lot better volunteer person.
I grew up with the philosophy that Vic just described, that you spend some time in work and some time in the community, some time with family. And ALF accentuated that and probably put me on a path to be involved in the Houston community in ways that I wouldn't have without it. And so as my parents and brothers get involved in things in the community, the whole family tends to get a taste of those things. So that's all tied together, and yes, how we interact with the Houston community has to do with whatever is of interest to one of us at the time. And I think ALF, for the two of us, helped make that participation in the community stronger and probably deeper than it otherwise would have been. For me, it was largely on the back of Vic's experience that I had seen that he got a lot out of it, that he got connections with a bunch of people, and that those connections mattered, not only for learning about yourself, but as years went by, those connections helped but make things happen in Houston. So in a commitment to community, if you want to be part of that in the long term, this was as good a way as any to make those little connections so that you can participate in the leadership